Hi, I'm Daniel Nigh. I'm an attorney here at Levin, Papantonio, and I went to Stetson Law School and graduated in 2006. And I've been practicing ever since then. And I specifically handle product liability cases, and more specifically, medical device implants and drug litigation. My first job out of law school was I decided to be a public defender, even though I had several other opportunities. The reason I decided to be a public defender is I recognized that these were some of the folks who were the most underrepresented, and oftentimes just steamrolled by the system. And I felt like they needed to have a voice. So my first job out of law school was to be a public defender so that I could help those folks also have equal access to the courts. I love being an attorney, and I like getting on the phone and talking with clients and dealing with their problems and trying to figure out a solution how to best help them. In addition, I like the strategy of it. As I grew up, I was always a chess player from a young age, very active into that, and also became a chess coach. And I see a lot of strategy behind being an attorney and what we do in mass torts litigation. There's a lot of similarities between a class action and mass tort cases, so it can be commonly confused. The similarities are, and then a mass tort case, what we try to do is we try to find the similarities between a bunch of cases. Normally the way this will start out is we find out about one defect or one issue or one problem. We find out about that problem all around the same time, and there's a whole bunch of people across the nation who are affected by a similar issue. The biggest difference between a class action and a mass tort, however, is the way in which the people are affected. Everybody in a mass tort is affected differently. They all have their own unique individual damages and injuries, whereas a class action on that category, oftentimes they're all lumped in and have the same damages and injuries. I've always felt that everybody deserves equal access to the courtrooms. And generally what I find all too often is that the little person against the corporation, the little person has certainly not the equal access to the courts. And these big corporations spend millions of dollars getting people ideas to believe that tort reform is the best way out there. And oftentimes I see that people suffer from these corporations' horrible, intentional, wrong acts, and oftentimes are left with no recourse because of this tort reform. What I try to do as much as possible is to try to even the game as much as possible, to try to make sure that these corporations are brought to justice for the wrong that they've done, and that the little person or my clients, that they can at least see some justice at the end of the day for that wrongdoing. As soon as you have any kind of problem where you recognize that you may have been harmed as a result of a corporation, or you have a defective device, or you're not even sure whether or not you have a recall product, you should call an attorney immediately. It's not going to cost you anything unless we make a recovery, and then we're only getting a percentage of your recovery. At Levin Papantonio, we do represent clients nationwide. If this is your first time being in a lawsuit, I understand it can be daunting, it can be difficult, it's new territory, you don't know what to expect, and that's why I'm here. I treat you as an individual. I will evaluate your medical records individually, your case individually, and I'll speak with you individually. You're not just a number to us. When choosing an attorney for a product defect or medical device or a drug litigation, you don't want to just walk into your local office and find the attorney that's the closest to you. You want to make sure that you have an attorney representing you that is experienced in this issue, understands that specific drug or medical device, and specifically the injuries that it causes and how it occurs. Oftentimes, many attorneys, local attorneys, you can go into their office and they'll tell you, sure, I'll represent you. But they don't have the experience and they don't have the know-it-all of what we know here at Levin Papantonio to handle those cases. In addition, here at Levin Papantonio, we try those cases, we file those lawsuits, and we actually handle them. Whereas oftentimes when you walk into your local office, the only thing they're doing is they're going to sign you up and then send them to a firm like us. If you feel like you've been harmed by a medical device or taking some type of medication, please call me. It's not going to cost you anything to determine whether or not you have a case, and I look forward to the opportunity of being able to represent you.